wanna talk about sports. They need a resource where they can come talk about sports. They really be talk, but we know the facts. Stacks, yeah, that's where it's at. We the hottest on the map. And this is our take on. This is our take on. Yeah, they need a resource. We got you, just make up the choice. Who out here making that noise? This our take on sports. This is our take on. This is our take on. This is our take on. This is our take on sports.
Inside, Josh Jacobs, gaping hole for Jacobs, and a great spin move into San Francisco territory is Jacobs.
Got a little deception there to read in the backfield, and then directly downhill into the defense is Jacobs. Brown comes out of the middle of the field.
And now we're hungry to get this win.
No doubt, Aaron. They've played each other a bunch in the playoffs, too, last few years. Jacobs again, big hole, and he races through it for another first down. They'll get set for the Thanksgiving Day match with the Giants. Packers, nice opening drive here. Pitch to Jacobs. Outside, breaks another couple tackles, and down to the 15. Man, he is running with a purpose here so far.
First and second down, and then he's got to figure out a way when he does get the passing situations. How does he get to Love?
Jacobs breaking another tackle, and another. He's been unbelievable. He's broken 6 tackles already in the first quarter of this game.
Putting his hands and punch it in.
They will. Jacobs is in! Touchdown, Green Bay!
Just an inside run to Jacobs. He reads it to the backside. Mustafa comes out of the middle of the field, and let's see if they can hit a chunk down the field. I'd look for some type of deep in-breaking route. Another run.
Oh, give it to Jacobs again. Another break tackle. Jacobs first down, still going, and stiff arm and gets out of bounds somehow. Meanwhile, jumbo formation Green Bay with a pass interference penalty. They get 3 tight ends too. They go with Jacobs in the eye. He'll get it. Jacobs, chug it in. Touchdown number 2 of the day.
Ball from the 1-yard line. Give it to Jacobs. You got Ryan on the pull. You got Fitzpatrick as the lead blocker. You got 2 big bodies.
Jacobs, no shot, barreling forward, touchdown again.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. He is your host, Mr. MP80Baby.
That's your host right there, Mr. GPG.
And welcome to
our take on sports.
On this podcast, man, we keep you in tune with all the latest information in the sports world, with everything that's going on. We don't waste no time on this show. We never have, and we definitely gonna do it right now. So we're going to get started right now with the big college weekend that we had, college football. We had some big upsets going on this weekend, MP. Now, we all know MP is the college guru on this show. Tell them what you got, MP.
Yeah, we had some real big upsets this week. Ole Miss, number 9, Ole Miss. They was number 9. Ole Miss, they went on and dropped a L to Florida. I can't believe it. Yeah, they did. They dropped that thing 17. They only put up 17 points. Ole Miss did, and they dropped that thing. Florida put up 24 and went on and rooted against that Ole Miss team that's supposed to be making it to the college playoffs. I don't think they're going to make it. I really don't think they're going to make it. That's their 3rd loss. And, hey, man, it's looking kind of bad for them. Another notable upset, number 16, Mr. GPG, Colorado, lost to Kansas. I can't believe it. I can't believe Coach Prime couldn't get those boys coached up. Now, I know you might want to put a little take on this, because what you told me before we started the take, what you tell me what the team was doing? They were smelling their stuff, they got the big head or something?
According to Coach Prime, that's what he said. They got to read their own, clippings, and spilling themselves a little bit too much. And they just didn't come out there and do what they're supposed to do. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, Shador was 23 of 29 for 268 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Travis Hunter, the MVP, the Heisman front runner, he had 8 catches for 125 yards and 2 touchdowns. But they could not stop the defense. Defense couldn't stop nobody, man. Look what they did, man. That boy Devin Neal had 37 carries for 207 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Devin Neal, yeah, he ran all over him. All over him.
He had the game of his life, man. I mean, what can you say? If you can't stop the run, man, then you don't need to be in the Big 12 championship. You definitely don't need to be, in the tournament. So, man, I know this ain't how Colorado usually get down. That's my team, man. I love me some Coach Prime, but they just didn't show up the other day, MP.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, man. I mean, I was very disappointed to see Colorado play to that level. It was like they played to the level that they expected, who they was playing, Kansas, to play at. And it was just like, man, the defense just, like you said, Devin Neal he had his way. Number 4 here, number 4 there, number 4 everywhere. I was like, man, if they want to score on any play, just hand it off to number 4, because it was just like, it was, a run fest. So I definitely agree with you, but we're going to move on, man. Another notable game, man. And this shouldn't even been notable because, they say the Tide always run high out there in Crimson. But, I got to say that Alabama look like the Tide is low, huh? Y'all need to get Saban back. Yeah, y'all need Nick back up in that thing. And I got a call Saturday night talking about, that's still Nick Saban program. I can't tell. I ain't ever seen Nick Saban lose to Oklahoma like this that wasn't ranked at all, and y'all number 7. What happened? They only put up a field goal, Mr. GPG, a field goal. They looked at that bad. They only put up a field goal. I can't believe it. I mean, Oklahoma put up 24 points on them boys, and this boy, Arnold Robinson, ran for over 100 yards just to, put a stamper on Alabama. Alabama fans, where y'all at, man? Rise up. Come talk to me. Come on this show. Blow up this comments, because I'm talking mess about y'all. Where y'all at? You got anything to say about that, Mr. GPG?
It's hard to defend them boys after what they just look like, you know what I mean? Like you said, they only put up 3 points. Jalen Milrose, he did, threw 3 interceptions. He was 11 of 26, 164 yards, but he had the 3 interceptions, man. And he was their leading rusher. I don't think it's a good combination when your quarterback is your leading rusher also with 12 carries for 45 yards. That's just not a recipe for success, in my opinion. I mean, you got to have some help. I mean, Milrose was trying to do everything by himself, and Oklahoma said, we ain't having none of that. So they're going to have to take that L, man, and it don't look like they're going to make it into that college playoff tournament, man. So
now we know 3 losses, 3 of them, and I think right now they got them ranked at 13 or 14. So, I don't even think with this last week that they got coming, like it's just too many good teams that, they're still in the mix, like SMU and the Irish that done creeped up in there, teams like that. I mean, they playing good ball. I mean, what can we do? That's why that's why they opened up this whole portal to college playoffs instead of just having the 14, but 12 team to give those teams that don't have those notable games throughout the season, but playing good ball, or maybe had a good game against a notable team or beat a team like Alabama. Those teams should creep on up. I mean, come on now. And we're going to get into this new playoff picture here in a little bit, but I'm going to keep moving on. I'm going to talk about Texas A&M, the Aggie, that number 15, that had hopes on creeping on into the playoffs themselves. They went on and dropped their 3rd loss as well. And that's that third loss. I mean, man, that 3rd loss, you can't have that right now, even though the strength of the schedule in the SEC was kind of strong this year. That 3rd loss, that's hard, man. They dropped the ball to Texas A&M. I mean, Texas A&M dropped their ball 41-43 to Auburn. Ugh. And I was happy. Because somebody called me and said we was going to be playing the Aggies in the SEC championship. And I said, they don't want to see them Georgia Bulldogs. And this is why. And I say, hey, again, like I just told Alabama fans, Texas A&M, whoever watched this and y'all alumni or whatever, y'all like that team, that school, comment. Tell me I'm wrong. Show, hey, I don't mind the hate. Bring it on. Bring it on. Because y'all suck right now. 3 losses, y'all suck. Y'all shouldn't even be in the SEC. Just like the Alabama. Get them out of here. They shouldn't be in the SEC, man. I'm going to move on. You got anything to say about that game? Because I'm going to move on.
Nope. We can move on. You said it.
All right. Well, everybody know I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. They handled business this week like they was supposed to against UMass. And it was a cupcake game. But hey, man, we ain't had no cupcake games all season. It was about time we got one. We can't keep running through the whole rank. Gosh. So yeah, Georgia Bulldogs did their thing. They 9-2. They looking to push forward to the SEC championship. Hopefully they get a chance to fight. You still got Texas leading the way in the SEC. So we will see. We will see.
They up in the rankings too with everything that happened this past weekend too. So you got them current rankings?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about them just here in a second. I'm gonna talk about these last 2 big games. You had Indiana going to see Ohio State. Ohio State hosted this game. That was a number 5 team, Indiana, that had hopes of staying in the playoffs, right? They did lose 15-38 to Ohio State. Ohio State is number 2 in the country. So that was a big game, just in case y'all didn't watch that game. That was a big game. You probably want to go back and look at some highlights on that one. And another game that was almost an upset. This here would have been another big upset. Penn State against Minnesota. Penn State is number 4 in the nation. And they almost lost Saturday, 26-25. Skin of they chin. That's the only way they got their win. And it was a good game. I was rooting for Minnesota all the way. But Penn State did what they were supposed to do. So right now they stand ahead in the bunch like they should. SMU, I'm gonna speak on them right now. They look like they will make the playoffs depending on how the shape will come next week. Who they play next week. They did beat Virginia 33-7, and they was number 13 as of Saturday. And so that is what we're looking at as of right now, as far as the notable games in the college for last Saturday. Now, we're going to get into some of these rankings that they got going on right now. Like you said, Mr. GPG, college football rankings has changed, and we want to get the updates for this week. So bear with me. We're going to get these rankings right here. So right now, we have Oregon at number 1. Ohio State, they stand at number 2. Now, Oregon, as of right now, is the only team that's undefeated. Let me go ahead and put that out there just in case y'all don't know. They are 11-0. That's why they're number 1 right now. I can't even argue against that. Ohio State 10-1. They're number 2. Texas, like I said, they're in the SEC. They're number 3. They're 10-1. Then you got Penn State following behind them, 10-1, standing number 4. The Irish, right now, number 5. They're 10-1. Then my team, Georgia, sweet Georgia. They don't move all the way up to number 6, Mr. GPG. Oh, man, it feels so good. I just last week, on our last take, I was talking about who they might match up with at 11 and 10, and they don't move all the way down to sweet old number 6. How it feels so good right now to say, just to say that. And everybody know they're 9-2. We did lose to Alabama, one of those losses, but who cares? Alabama ain't even gonna make the playoffs. Then you got Tennessee at 7 in the nation. Tennessee is 9-2 as well. You do have the Hurricanes now. The Hurricanes is balling. A lot of people not talking about them, but I know Florida is, because them boys is playing up. They are 10-1 right now. They are 10-1 at rank number 8 right now in the nation. And them boys is taking Florida State place from last year. They saying they the true Floridas. And I feel y'all. Then we're going to move on down. Like I said, SMU, they had to get up in there. They number 9 right now. SMU, they're 10-1, same record as Miami. Then you got Indiana. They lost. They lost, like I said, against Ohio State, which gave them their first loss. So they moved from number 5 down to, looks like they're going to be at number 10 now. So they moved down 5 spaces. They still in the playoff hunt, depending on this week how it shapes out. Then you got like Boise State don't creep up in there 10-1. That's a shocker right there. And that's what I'm talking about. You got to give these schools a shot. Bump Alabama being a big name. We don't care. Bump Ole Miss being a big name program. Y'all lose 3 losses. These programs don't even have 2 losses. We got to get them in there now. We got to get them in there. So, what can I say? Then you got the Tigers, Clemson. They look like they're gonna make it. They taking on that 12th spot right now at 9-2. That they taking on that 12th spot right now at 9-2. That'll bump Alabama out the playoffs. Alabama dropped from 7 to number 13. They dropped 6 places with that 8-3 record, and then right behind them, Arizona State. Okay. They 9-2 at 14, and then after that, you got Ole Miss drop down to 15. From 9 to 15 with their loss, and that right there is your top 15 new rankings for the college and who was looking right now to jump into the playoffs. So by this weekend, by the time play this Saturday come, I've been on gave y'all what, or it'll probably be after this last week of college. We'll start talking about the shape up that's real clear on the college playoffs picture. So y'all keep it tight and keep tuned in, because I will be giving y'all those updates. But that there is your college update of the week.
Sound good, man. I love it when you keep the world in tune. What's going on in the college world, man? We gotta have that, man. That way we all is updated and we know what's going on, man. It's big ups to you and everything that you're doing with your research. I appreciate you, MP.
Already.
We're gonna move already, man. We're gonna move to the sport of the weekend, the NFL. We're gonna talk about now. We did have the game of the week. The game of the week featured the Green Bay Packers versus the San Francisco 49ers. Now, in past memory, everybody know that the 49ers been owning the Green Bay Packers.
Yes.
Especially playoffs, what they've been doing. But yesterday, the Green Bay Packers got a little bit of get back. We won that game 38-10. We put hands on them 49ers, man. Josh Jacobs led the way with 26 carries, 106 yards, and 3 of them touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Love, he did a little bit. He didn't have to do too much because Josh and the defense was doing much. 13 for 23, 163 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the biggest thing, no interceptions, no turnovers. We didn't have none of that. And you can see what we can score when we don't give the opposition opportunities at the ball. Green Bay is right up there at the top one. Now, I know everybody's going to sit there and talk about, they didn't have Brock Purdy, they didn't have, Nick Bosa, Trent Williams was missing. You know what? This is football. And every football team is dealing with injuries. So I can say the same thing when we missing Jair Alexander and when we missing my starting middle linebacker, Ezra Cooper. Ain't nobody paying no attention. They didn't say nothing when Jordan Love got hurt early this season. So all that stuff, you can miss me with that. 49er fans talking about who you didn't have and whatever. MP, I know you happened to catch that game too.
Yeah,
Give me on that, big dog.
I mean, I got to give big ups on the biggest trade that you guys did over the offseason, and that was getting rid of Aaron Jones, who, I got him on my fantasy team. I still think he got a lot of tread on them tires for Josh Jacobs. He did his thing yesterday. I know y'all got a lot of backlash when y'all did that trade, and it looks like it paid off for me. I always said that 49ers was y'all Achilles heel, and yesterday y'all let the world see that y'all might just not be ready for the playoffs, but ready to make a deep run into the playoffs, maybe to the NFC Championship. Maybe you might be able to meet them Falcons again. You know, last time y'all met them Falcons in the NFC Championship, we put a bet on the line. You remember that bet?
I do.
Oh, okay. Who won that bet?
You won that one. You won that one.
Right. Ding. That's right.
I also remember winning in Atlanta to get to that Super Bowl that we did win back in the day too. So we'll see what happens if our teams do meet in the playoffs. I can't overlook what Minnesota and Detroit and Philly is doing over there. So, you know, Green Bay, you did what you had to do yesterday. I'm proud of you, man. You know, I'm glad you took the ball away. You know, the clips that you showed earlier, you know, you seen us taking the ball away from Christian McCaffrey, you know, big interception from Xavier McKinney, you know, getting that ball out of that quarterback's hands. Hey, Green Bay, keep playing like that, man, and who knows where you can go. So we'll move on from that game, man, because we did see a performance of the ages last night, man. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Los Angeles Rams 37-20. Saquon Barkley just put on the show. MP, show that clip.
Doesn't have to hit the ground, just be in the air and released.
Yes, Chris. Yep.
And they got it right. And the Eagles have it. And here comes Saquon Barkley, spinning and turning. Physical running he's done all year. Elias Smith, the rookie out of Texas A&M, the motion man. Barkley, left side, with blocking. Puts his head down and gets to the 27-yard line. But Barkley, who first down, and Barkley again. Runs of 8 and 6 and 8. San Francisco and Buffalo. So fun and busy times. Great football time of the year. Barkley, another run for Saquon. Ankle tackle at the 44-yard line, or else there would have been more. Cam Kinchins, the rookie, brought him down. You know, my family got their tickets Friday afternoon. Gotta check that out. Barkley on Sunday night, gain of 11. And Saquon takes it right near midfield in the first down. 3:10 until the half. Woo, Barkley up the middle. Spun down by Omar Spates, the undrafted rookie out of LSU. But big chunks of yards to start this drive. No rush over 10 yards, but he has 61. Keeps his balance here. And there's a rush of 11 yards. Down hard hit. Rams still in 2 timeouts to use if they want to try to get the ball back. Hurts looking left, covered. Now making it up. On the run, he fires sideline. See if they're in bounds with Barkley. Yes.
Saquon, man, he set a franchise record yesterday, 255 yards rushing. Go on and speak on what he did. What you see last night?
I seen the best running back in the NFL. That's what I seen. I seen the best running back in the NFL, and he's been that for a long time, but he's been in a bad situation with the New York Giants. This boy has got everything that you want in a running back. He's got hands, he's got speed, he's got agility, he's got power, and he can take it to the house. He will hit his head on the goalpost. Once you behind him, you ain't catching Saquon Barkley from behind, man. I haven't seen nobody do it yet. The boy's special, man, and what he's doing for Philly, God, man. That's a scary team over there, boy. That's for real.
Yeah, he had those 2 big runs, and you know, as you said, he may be the best running back in the league right now. Only carried the ball 223 times, but he got 1,300. You might as well say 1,400 yards from scrimmage already this year, and we still got a long, 6 more games to go, at least 6, 7 more games to go, and he's already at 1,400 yards, 1,392 to be exact. For those who want to be critics, on me and whatnot. I'm gonna keep the numbers 100. I did say 1,400, but I'm gonna round it on up, from 1,392 to 1,400 because that's just what I do. Saquon, 10 touchdowns of the year. If you have one in if you got him on your fantasy team, hey, you was blessed this year. I hope you got keepers for next year because you might want to keep them. Philly looking good right now, even though they did drop one of those losses to Atlanta Falcons. As you see those dirty birds in the back, we love to fly down on certain birds that think they ready to eat. You ain't ready to eat. But anyway, we're going to get into those birds right now because they are on a bye week. But yes, big up to Shaquan. You got any more to talk about on that game?
No, man. That's just a good team, man. They deep. They got the receivers, Jalen Hurts. Their defense is playing up to par. All I know is Philadelphia Eagles is a scary team, and that's going to be a team that everybody need to keep their eye on, man, for real. The Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys escaped with a 34-26 win. MP, just roll the tape, man, and show them how to escape, man.
Man, y'all check the tape out.
Styles, now they can just unleash the quarterback.
Half a minute, no timeouts. Daniels throws down the sideline for Terry McLaurin. McLaurin is loose. Lightning strikes twice in Washington. For the tie. Low snap. It is no good. And the worst special teams day in history has a fitting finish.
Now they come in, they take the lead. Finally, they take the lead. And 2 seconds later, it seemed like the first play, you let Terry McLaurin run it all the way down the sideline. I mean, if it wasn't for a missed extra point, you guys would be in overtime. Who knows what happens? I'm kind of glad that you did pull off the victory because Washington is one of those teams in the NFC that's creeping for a wild card spot. So if I can create a little separation between them and us, because, hey, look, it's going to be 6-7, Washington, Green Bay, because Minnesota look like they're doing their thing. Thank you, Cowboys. But, man, you escaped with that one yesterday. What you see, MP?
Yeah, I just know that kicker, that kicker Austin Silbert or whatever, however you pronounce his last name, he choked on that kick, that extra point, and you could just see it in his eyes. I mean, he was tearing up. He knew what time it was. I mean, you got a team in Washington that's playing big ball. I mean, that could have been their 8th win. It could have been at 8-4. 8-4 looks totally different than 7-5. So yeah, I mean, you got a team, you got a rookie quarterback. You got a wide receiver, wide receivers that's playing big. You got your tight end and Ertz that's playing big. And you got a young running crew. All we need you to do is go out there and kick an extra point, send us to overtime so we can do our thing. And an extra point? You can't get us an extra point. So, yeah, I mean, to me, that's the biggest play of the game. Although there was many big plays in the game. But to me, that's the biggest play in the game. And then for me to see Mike in Dallas in their locker room and he gave their speech. I mean, I felt where he was coming from, but we all know y'all lost that game true-heartedly. That game was really y'all should have lost that game, Mike. Y'all should have lost that game. Oh boy, you must have paid him a little something, took his family out, bought the children some Christmas gifts and everything, and told them if it come down to it, miss one for you. And he did that. So, hey, Dallas is Dallas. Y'all still on dialysis to me.
Right. We know they ain't going nowhere. It does hurt the Washington Commanders, you know what I'm saying? In the rankings, they was trying to keep pace with the Philadelphia Eagles over there in that division. And now with that loss, that just makes it a little bit wider and a little bit harder for them to catch Philly, especially the way Philly playing. We'll move on, man. We got another team that just escaped with another win. The Kansas City Chiefs, they ended up beating the Carolina Panthers 30-27 on a last-second field goal. MP, just show the clip and show them exactly how City is with another win.
Check the clip out, folks.
Big-time players, they're going to find them in these situations.
We're down to 47 seconds left. Mahomes out of the pocket. Mahomes on the run, takes a look around. Oh, Mahomes is still going! Slips away for a huge gain. Rip.
Does this look familiar? Think back to earlier this season, him walking that tightrope. I believe it was against the Chargers late in the ball game when they had to have it. Everyone thinks he's going out of bounds, and he gives them the slip and stays up the sideline, and they are fully into field.
So Patrick Mahomes, He always do the same thing for the most part. And look, if you ain't gonna stop it, keep doing it, Patrick. I ain't mad at you. He keeps finding a way to scramble down the sideline and get extra yards to get them in field goal range or touchdown range or whatever it seems that Kansas City needs to win that game. Patrick Mahomes finds a way to get it done. Whether it's him finding it, scrambling, and then throwing it on the run, finding somebody with his arm, or a lot of the times it's him scrambling down the sideline, just like you saw, and him putting himself in position, his team in position to win another game. What you think of the Kansas City Chiefs, man? Is this skating by like they've been doing? And are these wins that they're getting, are they sustainable? Are they going to be able to do this in the playoffs?
Well, the thing is, this is regular season. And I know we both was athletes. You was you went a little further, like I spoke before than I did in the sports world. But we both know in the regular season, it's just regular season. We don't care how we get those dubs. It's the point of just getting them. And then once we get in the playoffs, we got championship caliber. We done been there before. We know how this thing's supposed to get. We know how to gather together. I believe that Kansas City doing just enough, staying healthy, bringing in certain pieces to try to get their next Super Bowl win. I mean, I don't want to see it, but I told y'all from the beginning when we spoke on our early episodes that Kansas City is a dangerous team. You didn't see it. You didn't see what I saw at the time. It don't matter how they skate by. They skated by them Atlanta Falcons. Every game they skated by Denver Broncos, right? Then I mean, come on now. All these they could have lost a lot of these games. But the point of the matter is, Mr. GPG, did they lose? They didn't. They're 10-1 right now. And they barely got by a Carolina team that just a few weeks ago we was getting on Bryce Young and the whole coaching staff and what they got and this and that. And something happened. They played up to a level where they almost beat Kansas City. So I don't care where the wins come from. Just get a win. Get a win and get to the big game.
I can't agree with you more, man. When the champs come to your hometown, it's that team's Super Bowl. And that's just the way it is. So the Carolina Panthers, they up for this game. They giving it they all. It's Kansas City week. Kansas City coming to our hometown. If we can show the world that we can pop Kansas City, then we can show the world that we actually a good football team. You know what I mean? And they almost did it, but, you still got work to do. No matter how you get the job done, Patrick, and the Kansas City Chiefs, as long as you get it done, that's all that matters, man. We're going to move on, man. There was another game, man. The upset of the week to me, honestly, though, was the Tennessee Titans beating those Houston Texans. Now, Houston Texans came in with a winning record, man, winning the division, leading that, but they ended up dropping the ball on a 32-27 loss to the Tennessee Titans, man. What you think about that game, MP?
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, what can I say? Tennessee Titans, they did what they're supposed to do to get this win. They not looking to make the playoffs. They just looking to upset some folks right now. Will Levis threw for 2 touchdowns, and we've been talking about maybe they need to change the quarterback, maybe the head coach and this. But, I mean, we even talked about Calvin Ridley. But Calvin Ridley showed up yesterday. He caught 5 receptions for almost 100 yards, no touchdowns, but who cares? Tony Pollard ran the ball 24 times, and he did carry for 119 yards and did score. So these are the things that they have to do going forward. We know that they have the talent there, right? We know that they had the talent there, but the point of the matter is show up on Sundays. You need to show up on Sundays, show up on those Thursdays, show up on Mondays. If you don't, I don't care. I mean, you can have all the talent in the world, but if y'all don't show up, you go to practice all week and you don't show up on game day, then you're going to look like the Titans. But this week, it looked like they played how they practiced this week, and they practiced perfect.
What you can't do, Mr. CJ Stroud, is look like Dan Orlovsky at the end of the game. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, MP, roll the clip.
Yeah, I'll roll it.
Just need to help this guy out. Roy Williams, Calvin Johnson, two of their biggest players.
3rd and 10. Here comes Jared Allen, and he's out of bounds. Poor guy, I don't even know if he realized it. And that's a safety.
Well, so much for me calling him savvy because he had no relation, but you just can't do that. You have to realize, and you can see him, he didn't even know he was out of bounds. Tough situation for a young quarterback, but you always you are. But listen, I mean, being on the 1 yard line, having to throw it to your end zone 3 times in a row, tough spot to be in.
It goes back to the drop ball by Johnson. I mean, you can't ask a guy who hasn't played much in his 4 years here, 3 years in Detroit, to throw a better ball back.
The Texans down 3 with a minute and change left. CJ Stroud is going to step out of bounds to give himself a self-safety. Now, I know they were close to getting the sack, but obviously when you're in the end zone, you have to have that awareness. You obviously can't step out of bounds when you're giving yourself your own safety. It has people reminiscing on the Dan Orlovsky moment.
Now, this man ran out of bounds. Gave him a safety. You got to know where you are on the field, young man. You got to know where you are on the field. That's a Dan Orlovsky move, and I ain't going to let you off the hook, and I'm not going to end this show without saying what I saw from you. I'm a little disappointed in you, CJ. You let Will Levis beat you, man. I'm a little disappointed in you, bro. MP, unless you got anything big else you want to mention, that's going to do it for today's show.
Yeah, man. You know, that's pretty much it. Everybody know Dolphins trying to creep up. Vikings still did their thing. And, you know, sorry, Bucks won again. They're getting closer and closer to those Falcons. I hate that. But it is one thing I do want to speak on before we get up out of here. I got to speak on that whiteout. The whiteout gang up in Cleveland.
Cleveland now. Through the middle. Gain of 7. Ford.
You were saying at the break, Dustin Hopkins, after the week he had last week, really the year he has had, could this game potentially come down to his leg in these conditions? He's a great kicker. He just had a tough time, and especially last week.
We're going to find out pretty quickly. It's under 3 minutes to go. There's Hopkins getting loose on the sideline. 2nd and 4. Cleveland 2 timeouts. And the 2-minute warning. Winston in trouble. Winston hangs in there. Winston throws. Dropped. Had his man. Had Akins. Couldn't hold on. 3rd and 4.
Was that not a good game?
That was wonderful. I thought it was a great game. It looked like a bunch of fun to be playing in, that's for sure. You know, but yeah, to be a fan in the stands, I would have hated that. But man, it was a whiteout ball. I mean, field goals and extra points going through the goalpost. You couldn't even see. You couldn't even see him. So I hate Pittsburgh. You know, they lost that one. You know, dropped the ball on it. You know, their receiver came out and said if it wasn't for the weather, you know, they would have put hands on Cleveland. But Cleveland was playing in those conditions too. So you just got to give it up for them boys and what they did Thursday night, man.
What you think about both teams subbing in their second string quarterback?
I'm not sure if I like that, Justin Fields, the way they subbing them in, because they're not using them right. I mean, it's like they bring them in and it's like everybody, okay, they watch the run, watch the read option. If you bring them in, you got to do more with them. You might put them in a shotgun and let them open it up. You got to do something different to kind of, in my opinion, to make the defense think, okay, Justin Fields in the game, watch the read option or watch the quarterback sweep. So I don't know, man. And subbing quarterbacks, they said a long time ago, if you got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have none. That was what I heard a long time ago. So I just think you should just let the quarterback stay in there and ride it out. I don't know about them gimmick plays.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's why the Saints did more with Tyson Hill. because everybody knew once he got back that he was going to run. So they playing him in tight end and this and that. And Justin Fields, he could play tight end. I mean, he has a big body to play tight end. So I agree with you, Mr. GPG. If you're going to do things like that, at least open up the playbook a little bit more to kind of fool the defense, you know. I wasn't a fan of neither team. Cleveland did the same thing. And I was just like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? Just run the ball. It's snow everywhere. You can't see the markers on the ground. Just run the ball. But, you know, it shows. Some running backs don't want to get hit when it's cold out there like that and snow on the ground. The ball be froze, you know, kind of hard. You know, you falling on the ball and all this. So, you know, everybody confidence in that high playing in the snow. But Cleveland confidence looked like it was high. So Pittsburgh, Russell Wilson, you need to, hey, man, do something. Because you may have to go somewhere and play in the snow in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
So, you know, yeah.
Hey, before we end it, though, how much do we got time?
Yeah, we got 6 minutes.
Okay, good, because I want to speak on another game that I didn't speak on, and the big one, too. The Arizona Cardinals dropped the ball, man, to the Seattle Seahawks, man. And the Seattle Seahawks took over first place in that division. See, West is tight, you know what I mean? So it's something that we got to keep your eye on, man. What do you think about them Seattle Seahawks losing? What do you think about the Arizona Cardinals losing their division lead to them Seattle Seahawks?
I mean, they're playing at the level that I told you that they're going to play at if they don't get Marvin Harrison Jr. in the game. If they don't work him in, they're going to lose most of their games. That's just what I feel from my position, from my point of view. If they don't get their big playmaker involved early, then they don't look like they look so one-dimensional. They do. They're looking for Kyler Murray to run the ball. And I don't even understand that when you got a big back like Connor in the backfield. And I mean, there's a lot that I don't understand with Arizona. I feel like this is just a getting our feet back wet, you know, after their big quarterback, Kyler Murray, had that, you know, in season-ending injury and everything. But for some reason, I don't feel like they're using their players correctly. But that's just me, Arizona. Y'all chime in. I mean, I've been on and off the bandwagon with you guys, and I know that you know, you guys definitely should have a lot more than just what you showing. So I don't know, Mr. GPG, what you think?
I don't know, man. I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed in the performance the Arizona Cardinals put up. I expected them to, you know, win that game. I was hoping they win that game. I know Seattle's had their number the last few times. They haven't beaten Seattle in like the last 5 meetings or something like that. So for a team like that, you know, basically like the Green Bay Packers own the Chicago Bears. You know, we don't want 11 in a row. It seems like Seattle is on that way to owning the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
I was just hoping that it would come out with a different little outlook this weekend, being that Arizona's been playing pretty good ball. But yeah, they definitely need to get Marvin Harrison Jr. a little bit more involved earlier in the game. Give the ball to James Conner more, and the defense just let him down. DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith, and Jigma kind of did his thing for the Seattle Seahawks. So I'm a little surprised that Arizona, you know, lost the lead now.
I mean, I got to say this, and I don't mean to cut you off, but when you giving James Conner the ball just 7 times, I mean, what is that? What is that? I mean, Kyler Murray had more rushing yards than James Conner.
Yeah.
That's not a. Yeah, that don't. You know, to me, that don't sound too good. And then you go into your tight end most of the game. Your tight end had 12 catches, 133 yards, but Marvin Harrison only had 3 catches. You got to go to somebody that can open up the field. You throw it to Marvin Harrison, that's a big play. He's all over. But you can't. You got to have somebody that's going to sit in the pocket just long enough so he can get some breakaway.
Yeah,
That's what my take. I wish he had came down here to them Falcons and let Kirk throw the ball to him. That's what I wanted. Trade them to us, Arizona. Y'all don't want them. Y'all ain't using them right.
It's so tight. That division is so tight, man.
Yeah, it is.
At the Seattle Seahawks now that is holding the lead on that division. Arizona's number 2, and now you got the Rams that's creeping up. You know, that loss last night to Philly kind of really hurt them, you know, but and the San Francisco 49ers, who would have ever known? Who would have ever thought that the 49ers would be last in their own division right now? Who would have ever thought that?
I know it, but hey, that's the way it is. And this 2024, 2025 season, and we got more takes that will be coming you guys' way. And you guys know about this time, man. We're going to go ahead and end this show, man. We love everybody who come in and comment, watch the show, that shares it. Man, we love you guys. We want y'all to comment, continue running these views up, man. Y'all got anybody has any business, anything y'all want to promote, holler at it, man. We'll run them on the show. We'll help y'all promote your business or whatever you're selling. We got you. But until next time on this thing, I'm going to go on and tell you, that's my boy and y'all host, Mr. GPG.
And that's the host right there, Mr. MP80Baby.
And this is
our take on sports.
There it is, man. We're going to get at y'all until next time. Like, subscribe, and follow. Let's share this thing, man.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
AMP, what they talking about? They talking about what? They talking about sports. Oh, really? Well, this is all. Out on the field, the ball on no courts. They wanna talk about sports. They need a resource where they can come talk about sports. They really be talk, but we know the facts. Stacks, yeah, that's where it's at. We the hottest on the map. This is take on. This is take on. Yeah, they need a resource. We got you, just make up the choice. Who out here making that noise? This our take on sports. This is take on. This is take on. This is take on. This is take on sports.